Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can make money with SEO by doing semantic SEO, which allows you to rank sites without backlinks. I use semantic SEO in my local lead generation business, which I've been doing over the last 11 years, where I basically rank local lead gen sites for roofing companies, construction companies, concrete companies, kitchen renovation companies. And oftentimes I'm able to rank these sites without building backlinks. Some people also refer this business as the rank and rent business model, but instead of just renting out the site, I sell the leads for a commission. What semantic SEO does is it gives you the history of Google's algorithm, how it has evolved over time, and how you can use it to your advantage so that you can get dominant rankings in Google and generate leads for small businesses and make money. All right, before I get into my semantic presentation, I wanted to quickly show you how I'm making money with SEO or semantic SEO. I'm not doing the traditional thing of doing an SEO agency where I have to deal with clients and rank other people's sites and they can fire me at any time. I build and rank my own lead generation websites to the top of Google and I get paid commissions on it. So here's an example of my concrete site in Pasadena, California, and this site generates me leads. And how we are doing that is this is a call tracking number that I own, and I have my own dashboard here where you can buy any local area code phone number and you can reroute it to any company that you want. Once I reroute it to a company, there's a whisper message where they know that lead came from me, and then inside this dashboard here it records every call that I generate for them. And I also have API access to my client's CRM, so whenever they close a job and it came from one of my call tracking, I get commissions for that. So right now we have $428,000 worth of estimates out. This was a $59,000 drywall job. This was a $240,000 ADU job, $14,000 job, $15,000 job. And over here, you can see the commissions that these sites are generating. So this was like a $1,000 commission for myself from a drywall job. This was a $900 commission from a wood flooring job. And these are some of the commissions being generated from my roofing sites. Majority of these sites are generating these leads without the GBP or the map listing. It's my understanding of SEO ranking these sites at the top of Google and generating leads that way, because at the end of the day, when you can rank websites, no one can take that away from you. I have websites from 5-10 years ago still making me money to this day. And the beautiful thing is once these sites rank, you don't really have to touch it anymore. You can just set it and forget it, and it keeps producing passive income. So let's talk about semantic SEO, what it is and why it's so important to understand this, especially in today's Google's algorithm in 2026. All right, 7 ways to use semantic SEO for higher rankings, building meaning and topical depth into web content. So what is semantic SEO? So basically it means that since 2015 and onwards, Google's algorithms become more and more sophisticated, where Google's crawlers now can read language. So Google actually created the large language model way before AI or ChatGPT has come out. They used to call it NLP, natural language processing, but these advanced algorithms basically started to take each word in a sentence and build vectors of meaning, relationships between words to ultimately understand the English language. This allowed Google to rank sites based on the actual quality of the content on the page, as opposed to simply matching a keyword if a keyword existed in the page title or if there were enough of those keywords in the content. Because remember, 10 years ago, what people could get away with was just simply putting keyword in the title or stuffing the content with the keyword. So there were many tools, including like things like Surfer SEO, that would say, hey, these 15 keywords are the most important keywords, and for this keyword is one of the most important. This other keyword, you need to repeat it 8 times within the content, right? It was old school SEO. Some people are still doing this kind of stuff, but this is something that does not work. Now it's all about semantic SEO, which means you actually have to feed into the algorithm related topics that actually is helpful to the end user. Okay, Google's semantic evolution from keywords to contextual understanding. I talked about this. I already mentioned this briefly, but yeah, Hummingbird 2013 was when it all got started. Google started building algorithms to start understanding the meaning and context behind whatever people were searching. And RankBrain in 2015, it really began to look at the meaning behind search queries, but it also began to analyze the user behavior as well. If somebody searches for roofers near me and they land on a really poor looking site and people don't feel like trustworthy over the company, and they go back to the search engine and find another site that is a lot more aesthetically pleasing, more professional looking, and they call that company or they opt in, RankBrain will interpret that behavior as this website actually fulfilled the search intent. So again, people doing SEO, this slowly but surely caused SEO to go from just simply creating slop kind of content to actually building sites with aesthetics in mind, with product or services that can fulfill that search intent. Again, this is why I like local lead gen, because each one of my site directly fulfills the search intent of somebody that's looking for a service, because I have a phone number that you can call, I have an opt-in form that you can opt into. It's a real service. Whereas bloggers, for example, that would have one specific product, and let's say they were in like the video game niche, but then they wrote a review about a movie because it was going viral and it was getting traffic. Whoever the person that was searching for that movie review don't at all need anything about a video game product. So again, that's not fulfilling search intent. So those articles no longer will rank. Again, this is all an effort for Google to continually increase the user experience, right? And then there's always SEOs and marketers that are trying to game the system. Next, improving the search experience. So users seek comprehensive answers, meaning if you want to rank for commercial roofing, don't just have one basic definition of, hey, we offer commercial roofing. Always make sure that you're covering other topics related to commercial roofing that whoever that's trying to buy commercial roofing would want to know. Again, it is far better for the user to find a single piece of content that answers all the related questions as opposed to creating 10 different pages that all cover the same related topic. Again, if your page does a thorough enough job of covering all the different questions that people might have, they will stay on your site longer as well, which increases dwell time, which is a positive behavior signal leading to positive ranking boost. Now, the benefits of semantic SEO, when you begin to understand that it's no longer about just matching keywords, but about covering a topic in its entirety, naturally, you will cover different types of topic on that one page, which means you'll actually begin ranking for more different types of keywords. Google will begin to also see that you're covering topics on a deeper level, which will give you more brand authority and trust signals even without backlinks. Again, people will stay on your site and page longer. And this can be underestimated because a lot of visitors will also go to your homepage or go to other pages within your site. And if each page has done a very thorough job of answering questions and covering related topics, sometimes even topics that the user wasn't even thinking about, but your content is covering it and it's very useful. When you begin to do this across the entire site, across various pages, it's going to make a difference in how long people stay on your site as opposed to your competitors. And this over time will give a huge difference in the user behavior signal on your site as opposed to the competition, which is one of the reasons why my sites rank so well even without building backlinks. Strategy 1, keyword clusters. So meaning move away from using tools like SEO tools that list a bunch of keywords. We used to create separate pages for all the different keywords, right? And some of those keywords are very similar in context, but because it shows up differently on a tool, you would think that you just create 2 separate pages, but this is not the case anymore. This can actually hurt your site. Having more pages leads to cannibalization and leads to more pages than necessary. In fact, every new page that you open, you can look at it as diluting the page rank power across your entire site, which can actually hurt your ability to rank for the main keywords for your site. So instead of doing that, understand that various keywords, you can cluster them together, build a more authoritative one page for that cluster of keywords as opposed to creating a bunch of new pages. For example, you got keywords like commercial roofing or flat roofing. I understand flat roofing is mostly commercial. So instead of creating 2 separate pages for that, it is better to create a page called commercial flat roofing. And inside that page, you will cover also topics like roof replacement and repair for commercial flat roofs. All those keywords can be clustered into one. Strategy 2, improve topical depth. Now, 7-8 years ago, SEOs were focused on word count on a page. We used to shoot for 2,000 words. And honestly, oftentimes a lot of people that I've seen would write in circles of the same similar topic over and over again for 2,000 words. That's not the case anymore. The word length really doesn't matter. It can actually hurt you if you're talking talking about redundant things over and over again, because as Google's bots crawl the page, it's semantically reading the content. And if it's not seeing various other topics on that page, Google can identify a page with a lot of fluff, which is actually a poor quality content signal. So make sure to go deep onto a topic, but you also have to understand to not go too deep and too much into irrelevant topics. You want to still stay within the central topic, but find topics that will be useful to the end user. So if somebody's searching for kitchen remodeling, what kind of topics would they want to know about? Somebody searching for driveways, concrete driveways, what kind of topics would they want to know about? Always, the best way to approach this is always think about the end user that is looking for that service or product and focus on what that person would find useful to know about. But for sure, don't ever write 2,000 words for the sake of writing 2,000 words. Think about the relevant topics. Synonyms and user questions. Google NLP doesn't need exact matches. Before, we were thinking, hey, if I want to rank for buy protein powder, you should also have purchase protein powder. But this is not the case anymore. Buy and purchase are the same words. Google knows that. So I don't even worry about exact matches anymore or putting all the keywords that are different variations of a keywords. I used to go to Thesaurus and find synonyms, but I don't even really worry about it. It's more or less putting the important keywords in the right section. So H1, H2, H3s are important. You want to put the main keyword that particular page wants to rank for in the H1, and in the H2s, you want to create subtopics. So if it's roofing that I want to rank for, I want to put the main keyword in the H1, which we've done here. We have the word roofing in the H1, and then we want to break down into subtopic. This one, I really wanted to rank for commercial roofing, so I put that at the top of the site. And then this is a H2, and then underneath H2, we have H3s that break down different types of commercial roofing. And as I covered more different types of commercial roofing than other companies, I'm going to be able to build a lot more topical authority over commercial roofing and over my competition. And this allows me to rank much easier against the competition. And then to go the extra mile and build even more topical authority, I even cover the types of materials we use for commercial roofing and even break down into what are the different types of issues we solve for commercial roofing, H2s and H3s. So these are various different topics. All of them are different but related topics that people could find very useful. And at the bottom, we also have a section about residential roofing services as well. The reason why it's at the bottom is because for my roofing client, we're really focused on going after commercial roofing. And down below, we also have FAQ section as well. Next, data and tools. Add structured data, use content tools. So first of all, structured data is things like schema that we add to our pages. It does give some boost. Again, I want to show you guys content tool. If you go to epay.com, you can go to tools, epay content writer. You can try out this for free, but my team and the students that I teach, we use this to create in-depth, semantically relevant content. Although we do some fine-tuning, some editing on this content, this right here produces far better output than ChatGPT. So these are some of the content tools that we're using in 2026 with semantic SEO in mind, and also leveraging the power of AI. Whereas before I used to have to pay VAs and high school kids to write me content. Now I have AI by my side that can do this for me. It's definitely a huge help. Okay, so topic cluster is something to also think about when building out your page. When it comes to local lead gen, because we're not building hundreds or thousands of pages, you don't have to be less analytical about this stuff, but just know that you have a site, and within this site, you have different clusters of content. This is how you understand how to properly interlink between pages. When you have a page that is a specific core topic, you want to link together other related topics to that core topic so that it strengthens the core topic, because most likely the core topic is something that you really want to rank for. In local lead gen, what we're doing is I am creating a topical cluster for sub-city pages, and then I'm creating a topical cluster for commercial pages and residential pages. Again, this makes Google's bot crawlers more efficiently go through your site and understand what your site is about as well. So it improves the crawl efficiency for the bots, and that also helps your entire site in the rankings. Okay, so the key takeaway is basically moving away from just building a site, targeting various keywords in an SEO tool, to understanding topics for your keywords, almost seeing your site as not a site where you're just building pages trying to snipe various keywords, but looking at your site as you're creating almost like the encyclopedia for that keyword topic. Each page you open up, you think about, because you want to rank for certain keywords, don't just rely on what other competition has done on their pages to rank for that keyword, but think about how you can outdo your competition by thinking about what other topics could I cover about this keyword or this topic that can be even more useful to the end user that's searching for this keyword. That topic might not even be covered by the competition that you see on page one, but it might be a lot more useful. And Google will also look at that as your content having more unique content, and over time, user behavior signal, people staying longer on your page, longer on your site, will continue to boost your rankings. Over time, what can also begin to happen is that Google's knowledge graph will also begin to pick up the fact that you have unique information on your site, and it will begin to associate your brand as being more of a topically relevant and more of an authority for a given topic. Now, these are more large-scale tactics that I'm using on my blog.com, but this can also apply in the local arena as well. So if I'm trying to rank for a commercial roofing site in Los Angeles or a drywall site in Los Angeles, when I can cover more topics and I do this across my entire site, even 20-30% better, because most local companies or small businesses, they don't understand semantic SEO. My site is definitely going to trigger something in the Google semantic SEO algorithm, Google's Hummingbird and RankBrain, and this gives me an advantage that most people are not competing in. Because right now, most people are still looking at the Google's algorithm, especially in local and small businesses, in terms of just quality content. And that's very vague. Nobody really understands what that really means. And then the number of backlinks. So if you want to understand a little bit deeper about what I do and what I teach people, how to rank these local lead gen sites for concrete companies, wood flooring companies, custom cabinets, drywall, roofing, and I help students monetize those sites by using call tracking software. We sell those leads to business owners and we get paid on autopilot. So if you want to find out more info on that business model, in my opinion, it's still the best business model to create residual passive income on the internet. Click on the link in the description and I have a presentation for you where I go much more in depth on that business.